Good afternoon from the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your forecaster, Jeff Monk, looking at the planning outlook over the next week or so. So on the mountains, briefly, to summing up, it's not going to be a great week. There are going to be upland gales or near gales, actually most frequently, particularly early in the week, over England and Wales. There is going to be a good deal of rainfall, that mostly falling on western mountains. Cloud will frequently shroud the summits, again mostly toward the west and also northern Scotland, and it'll often be cold, particularly from Wednesday onwards. So just to fill in a little bit of detail on that, let's have a look at some charts. So taking up the story after the weekend, low pressure will well and truly be in place just north or northeast of Scotland, and through the week areas of low pressure will push eastwards from off the Atlantic. So on Monday there will be upland gales, particularly, as I say, over England and Wales. Wales in particular probably have bearing the brunt of those strong winds, less windy, progressively northwards across Scotland. There is going to be fairly widespread rain around by Monday afternoon, much of it is showery in character, but nevertheless for many areas there will be rain, if you like, on and off through the day, though total rainfall will be relatively small. Having said that though, as the low will have come in Sunday evening, Sunday night, there will have been plenty of further rain on western mountains, so the rivers will be in spate, and it will be very wet underfoot over many western mountains. Cloud will shroud many summits too on Monday, as it will do through the week. By Tuesday, this is a chart for Tuesday afternoon. The models aren't all absolutely consistent on this, but something of a low will be coming in, running in quickly from the west, and it probably means a deteriorating day. Very few showers to start with, some summits free of cloud, probably not a lot of wind, but deteriorating from the west during the day, probably the heaviest of the rain coming in from perhaps southern Scotland southwards. It could be that northern Scotland ends up with fairly light winds and a reasonable day, though we need to be cautious on that. That low could go 100 or 200 miles further northwards. By the time we get to the middle of the week, the low will have deepened and pushed eastwards into the North Sea, and we will notice something of a northerly wind pushing in toward northern and western Scotland. So it's at this stage where we start to see sleet in the rain on the highest summits in Scotland. Temperatures, should we say, above about 11 or 1200 metres, only 1 or 2. And in those winds near gale, perhaps reaching gale force on higher areas, it is more likely to feel like -10, -12 directly in the wind. A lot of showers coming in, really rain on and off over western mountains, and a wraparound of rain around that low could well mean that the Cairngorms, Deeside in particular, has many hours of constant heavy rain. So that may well, for the Cairngorms, be the heaviest rain of the week. As we go into Thursday, still that chilly air, temperatures not far above freezing point on the highest summits, showers coming in, one after another in some areas, mainly on western mountains. If anything, a tendency for them to be in the west in the morning and further east in the afternoon. Though as we come into the autumn, we tend to lose that tendency. It's more of a summer. It happens more in the summer where we get the showers migrating inland. Still windy, still a lot of isobars. So again, those upland winds widely near gale force. By the time we get to Friday, probably some doubt at this stage whether milder conditions, warmer conditions, muggy conditions, a lot of very low cloud on western mountains will be coming in. The rate at which that comes in, the extent of it is uncertain. But again, Friday could well be a deteriorating day with some rain, some drizzle, and the cloud lowering right down to lower slopes on those western mountains. Though a week out, there must be some uncertainty within quite a few hours as to just the rate that will come in. So it does look like quite a mix. Most of the rainfall, most of the low cloud will fall on western mountains. Toward the east, most of the week a good deal drier. As I say, probably the exception will be around Wednesday when an occlusion may well give heavy rain across north-east Scotland. And as I say, certainly on the chilly side and feeling in that wind below freezing point, even down over England and Wales for periods during the week.